What's up, guys? Crazy2shcool once again. I'm back. Every time I come back to go away for a few days, then come back for another few days, and then I always do what I gotta do. But today, we're going on the Yu-Gi-Oh side once again. Usually, I do it would be like a deck showcase or something. But today, we're going to discuss the two, as you can see on the screen, the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list for September 1st to December 1st to December 31st the 2013 half of the year. Or the last few months of the year, the ban list, and there's really been some really big changes because I guess after the tournament they seen how much BS some of their cards have been pulling, so they're gonna have to stop that real quick. So we're gonna start off the list with we're gonna start. That doesn't know that elemental dragons, right? So with the elemental dragons, who, as you all know, if you don't know already, they're like super OP. And in the new ban list, they have officially banned all the baby dragons. So, because I'm pretty sure they realized how OP these things were. Even though the elemental dragons weren't able to attack, even with only two separate ones that's a dragon and one other dragon, or two other dragons, you could basically bring out any level 7 ever, any rank 7 ever existed. You can also if you play for more of a sick or normal summon, use the effects of the baby dragon and use it to sync. I'm more of a sick or summoning person myself. That's just how I do. So that's what's so they started banning all the baby dragons. What's next is that they banned the spell card for the spell book of judgment, because if you don't know, I personally, this is Judgment is one of my favorite cards. I use it in my spell counter deck all the time, which I will showcase eventually one of these days, whatever. But that's besides the point. With Judgment, basically, once it's activated, you can essentially spam, as long as you spam freaking spellbook cards. At the end of the turn, you can special summon one spellcaster type, depending, I believe, on how many spellcasters. Depending on how many spellbooks that you use will determine the level of it, and you get to add back as many spellbooks as you use that turn. So if you run, maybe, like, I'm pretty sure you can't add another judgment back to your hand, but for instance, if you add a judgment back, spellbook of seeker, spellbook of the master, spellbook of life, a spellbook of power, and it's another spellbook, that a protection spellbook, which can stop a spellcaster type from being affected by either spell or trap cards. So that also got banned as well. Speaking of sacred summoning, like I mentioned, Trishula, the dragon of the ice barrier, is now limited to one in OCG. So it's still banned in TCG and whatnot, but now Trishula, you could use it in traditional, which basically means that it's going to be some OP level 9 monster that banishes a card from the deck, hand, or and field. You get to choose from field and graveyard, but it's random from the hand, and essentially it doesn't target. I don't know how that makes sense, but that's just what it is. It doesn't target. So that's what's new for the regular. So then I already mentioned one spell, but we will be going on to more spells. I know I said spells, but I forgot to mention that Elemental Hero Stratos is now banned. So you Elemental Hero guys, you're gonna have to deal with that. But emergency call is now unlimited, so that's a good thing. So I guess next, what we have that is banned is card destruction. So those Dark World players can't just send away their entire hand and get off like 15 effects at once, though. So that's good. That's good. I've faced a lot of Dark Worlds. Next, that is on the ban list, is Pot of Avarice. You still could I guess shuffling 5 cards and bringing out draw 2 cards was too OP, and finally Hitler is banned, which is, you got other options, but still, that's just it. What's next is that they banned one of the Holy Trinity, Monster Reborn, everybody had Monster Reborn, no matter what. No type calls, bring out any monster. They just said we're not playing that shit anymore. It is banned. That sucks, man. Next to get banned is Heavy Storm, number 2 in the Holy Trinity. They still didn't ban Dark Hole, but this thing barely has any cost. Because if you don't play any set cards first and then you set your cards, you basically don't pay any cost for freaking Heavy Storm. So that's just bad. And next was banned is Super Rejuvenation. It was first limited. I don't know to how many because I don't use E-Dragons, but you could basically, if you stack that card, you could basically almost draw your entire deck, and that is too much draw power, and you would have to discard few. And next we have banned is the Gateway of 6, which is the 6 Samurai card that you could just spam tokens on. The most broken combination ever because it doesn't say once per turn or nothing like that. So that is now banned. 6 Samurai just went down the drain. Next to have banned is Solomon Judgment, because that shit could negate anything it wants with a cost of half your life points, but some people could just instantly recover from that if they have friggin' life point gaining cards or whatnot, and they just stall, and over time they'll gain back all their life points. Next we have Ultimate Offering, which you could friggin' pay 500 for unlimited normal summons, which is OP as fudge. So I see why they banned this card, but there's quite a few others that were just, these are the main cards that were banned. For the limited list now, we have Atlantean Dragoons, which is actually a pretty OP effect if it was ever discarded. For the effect of any water type monster, you get to add any water type back to your hand. So if you play that with Atlanteans, that is super OP. Next we got Brother of the Fire Fist Spirit, which I personally have a Fire Fist deck, and with Spirit, when it's normal summon, special summon any level 3, you go sync, then you can bring back any level 3, spam Spirit, bring out another Spirit, then overlay into more threats. So that's bam. Next we have Deep Sea Diva, which is also limited to 1. I also said those 2 were banned. They're all limited to 1. With Deep Sea Diva, you can special summon, bring out any level 3 or lower Sea Serpent type monster, and then you expand that with Trishida and bring out Procedura. Jenny Ally Birdman was also limited to 1, so you can't rub your hands together like Birdman with like 2 of these things in your hand though. And you get to spam that with Windex and the field spell, which will make it hella OP. Next we have freaking Rescue Rabbit, which was at 2, but now they limited to 1 because with the new freaking Evil Swarm deck, freaking you could bring out Ophion twice in the same game without having to special summoning. You can only normal summon once, which is OP. Thunderkill Raha, which is also limited to 1, was kinda OP, I'm not gonna lie, because it stops cards from being added to your hand, which stops most decks that add cards to their hand, like Scraps. And then if they special summon something, you can just tribute it and destroy it. Alright, next is we got Tiger of the Ice Bear. I don't know what the F your name is, but that is also banned because that's OP, because you can just recycle like field spells and stuff, and this card gains a boost from that, which is like, no, that's crazy. So next thing we have back is M7. The Costello card lets you bounce back any card on the field back to your hand. Once again, just like Tiger, very spammable. You can only use it once per turn. Tiger, you can select any number of cards. So that is just OP, so they're in that same category. What I forgot to mention was that Shockmaster was also banned. Little OP. Discard one XYZ material. Monster, trap, or spell cards can't be activated if you call it from the effect of freaking Shockmaster. That's a little too much. Bam. Alright, next we move on to the semi-limited, which means there's not semi-limited, the limited, which means there's only 1 left in the deck. Gold Sarcophagus, E-Dragons, hella OP. If you ask my choice, good job game. That still also helps with other stuff. But we also got Dimensional Fissure, which is also limited as fudge. I love this card in my macro deck. You used to be able to run 3, now you can only run 1, which is going to be hard on the macro dogs. Next we have Royal Tribute, which is limited. Honestly, I don't know why. I guess it could be OP to an extent, but that I really don't see why it's really important. Maybe you're able to spam it with freaking Dark Worlds. But next we got one of the best trap cards ever, which is now only limited to 1, Bottomless Trap Hole. I'm not gonna lie, Bottomless Trap Hole was a little OP. Summon anything over 1,500, get banished instantly. Plan stopper right there. Next, we can only have 1 evac device, which means in one deck you can only have 1. So you need to use that evac device wisely, or else it's GG with that shit. which is also very bad, man. Anyway, next thing that's getting nerfed is Eradicator epidemic virus. Use it, should be only 2,500 monster. Then call something out, and your port is forced to send it to the graveyard. OP as fudge. Macrocosmos, another banished card nerf though. Macro decks are hella OP with this card, and since we can only have one, it's gonna be hella hard to banish for no type reason, which means it's GG with this deck. It no more. It's nerfed completely. Soul Drain. I see why they would nerf this because it's 1,000, and that literally takes out anything that activates from the graveyard and in the banish zone. So that is super OP for no type reason. Nobody uses it, but still, that's crazy. To Retribute, another classic that is nerfed down to only one. I don't really use it. It used to be at 2. I don't really use this though, like I was saying, but it's still an OP card effect. Now this is the new Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, now we're on the semi-limited. First thing that got semi-limited is Mizuki, which basically you could banish this card from the graveyard to special summon a zombie from your graveyard. I'm not gonna lie, got a bunch of zombies in there. Anything that's like Mad 3000 special summon that. Also was unlimited, now limited, which used to be one, is Plagiarist Spreader Zombie, which you could return one card on the field to the hand to special summon this from the graveyard. Well, you put it on top of the deck to special summon this from the graveyard. Nice. Tenki is now limited to 2, but since freaking Heavy Storm is now banned, it doesn't even matter because now you could just spam this card as many times and then get your 100-point boost and whatnot. So that really doesn't matter that it's limited to 2. Next, the best card ever. One of them. I love this card. Dimensional Prison, only limited to 2 now. So now you can't have the 3 banished cards or whatnot. OP, but still that makes you want to use it wisely. So that's alright. Okay guys, now we're back for the unlimited cards. One of the unlimited cards is Desert Hero Malicious, which was limited at 2, now it's at 3. Now you could spam 2 Malicious in a deck, good level 6, good for like Strike Bowser or M7 or something. Next that is unlimited is Agent of Mystery Earth, which when it's normal summon, add any agent to your hand. The agents are alright, but they're not that great, fantastic. But with Sanctuary in the Sky, add Master Hyperion. I love agents though, that's my deck, showcase that. Next we have Tsukiyumi, which is a spirit, which is normal summon. It sets any face-up card into set position. So, and since it's a spirit, it's spammable continuously. It just costs you a normal summon. Next we have Hero Lives. With Stratos being banned, it really doesn't matter. And I already mentioned that emergency call is at 3, but you can essentially no monsters, bring out any elemental hero from the deck. Doesn't mean extra deck. Next, what we have is Black Whirlwind, which I've seen, which is pretty OP now that this thing is at 3. Because for every Black Wind that you summon, you get to add up to, if you have all 3 in place, you get to add up to 3 cards at once for 1 normal summon. So that's like Macaloots. Next, we have Heraldic Shield of Convocation, or whatever that thing is. Don't know. Maybe Heraldics will make it a comeback. I don't know, but that's good for a Tefnuit in the hand or whichever heraldic dragon thing you want. Next we have Pot of Duality, which is at 3. Once again, I don't really see the use of this. You get to pick 1 card out of 3. That's good draw power and everything, but still everything else gets shuffled. And if you have 3 good cards, you're at a standstill, which is crazy. Next, which is surprisingly unrestricted now, it used to be at 1, Scapegoat, which can soak up 4 attacks, and since they can't be tributed, but you can still set the turn, you can still synchro summon with these tokens, which is OP. Alright guys, so this is the September 1st to December 31st, 2013 ban list. Restricted, limited, unrestricted, and all that junk. I honestly, in my opinion of this, I think they did a pretty good job. They nerfed pretty OP cards or whatnot, but we'll see how it goes. I'm still sad. Rest in peace all the dope trap cards that used to be unlimited. Welcome back to the new semi-limited. But other than that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching and subscribe. Deuces.